What up, cucks? It's your boy, the Hater, and I wanted to make a video talking about the art or sport of wrestling as a whole, right? Now, everybody that's not 8 knows that wrestling is fake, right? Right. No, Hater, it's not fake, it's scripted. Shut your mouths. It's fake, all right? It's not real in the sense that what you're seeing on TV is not what's actually happening, right? It's not just scripted. Scripted would be, I punch you in the face as hard as I can, and you know that I'm going to punch you first and you punch me second. That's what a script is. A script is an order in which things are done and the things that are actually done, right? Fake is you pretend to punch me in the face. The word pretend is not associated with scripting. It's associated with pretending and fakery. Wrestling is fake. Whether you like it or not, it's fake. Now, because it's fake, it doesn't mean that it's horrible or dumb or anything like that. A lot of things are fake, cucks. Harry Potter is fake, and that broad has made billions of dollars writing about this nerd with glasses, right? A lot of things are fake, and they still have value. Now, aside from that, there is a meritocracy within wrestling in the sense that whoever is good at their job is going to get promoted, right? And whoever's good at their job is going to make more money and is going to therefore be in a higher position in the card, right? Imagine if there were no world titles or intercontinental titles in wrestling, right? The only thing that would matter was how much money can you generate for your company, right? Everything else is immaterial, right? The belts are just ways to promote the people that generate the most money for your company, right? And of course, there are ways to manufacture this, right? If you want someone to produce a lot of money for your company, you might give him the title to give him an initial boost, right? But insofar as the sports element of it, the athletic element of it, it's fake, right? They're not real athletes in basically any capacity. Now, of course, obviously, there are some people in wrestling, like Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, right? Obviously, who are real athletes. The vast majority of them are just normal people, motherfucks. They're normal people like you and I, right? Not B-Fab, B-Fab's the girl. Top Dollar from Hit Row is just a guy, right? He played football in Kentucky State, whatever the fuck. I'm sure he has some background in something. But insofar as his character goes and as wrestling goes, he is just a guy, right? His character is just a guy that I guess is a rapper. I don't know, but they don't even rap anymore. But the point is, character is what makes the difference, what differentiates, or what should differentiate, I should say, Top Dollar, right? From Keith Lee, from Karrion Kross, right? If they're all just guys, they're not real fighters, right? Then I need a reason to like these assholes, right? Look at the UFC. You have a lot of boring-ass people like Israel Adesanya, right? He's a boring dude, you know? He's not very charismatic. He's not very charming. A lot of people make fun of him and say he's cringe, right? But it doesn't matter because he can fight and he gets paid to fight, right? Because what he does is not fake. Do you understand what I'm saying, cucks? Because what he does is not fake, he is able to make money despite not being entertaining in a field that can be best considered as entertainment or sports entertainment, right? A lot of people are like that. You think Pat Mahomes could be a good wrestler? No, he's kind of lame, he's kind of nerdy, but the kid can throw a ball and run around, motherfucks. So as a result, he gets paid millions, right? That's the primary difference between real sports and fake things like wrestling. Now, with all that being established by your boy in a solid argument that I just laid out with proof, the question then becomes, what makes a good wrestler if wrestling is fake? The answer is very obvious. It is the intangibles, right, that make it easier to fake the sport of wrestling, right? Because wrestling is fake, you can have, if you want, you can book Rey Mysterio to beat Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Great Khali, The Big Show, and Mark Henry clean in a Elimination Chamber match with Rey Mysterio entering first. You can do that because it's fake, right? But would that make sense? Would that be entertaining? You know, maybe. Who the fuck knows? But the point is that what makes someone good at their job has to revolve around their ability to present the medium of wrestling to me and other viewers in a way that it's entertaining and palpable, right? That's why certain things like the appearance of a wrestler, right? Masculine men and hot and attractive women, right? That's why these things draw. That's why big guys, big wrestlers, and hot women draw more than big women and small guys. You understand what I'm saying? There is a rationale behind it, right? If you're big, I can look at you as a viewer and say, wow, The Rock is 6'5" and he's fighting Stone Cold who's 6'3", whatever, right? And these guys are larger than life. They're bigger than me. They would whoop my ass. Now, fast forward a couple of decades and you turn the TV on and you see Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. And I think to myself, I would beat up both of these guys. I'm pretty sure I could beat up both Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin at the same time, like in a 2-on-1. I think I would destroy them, right? 1-on-1, forget about it. They're like, I'm knocking them out in 15 seconds. But 2-on-1, I think I'd beat their asses, right? So why the hell do I care which one of these two guys wins, right? Do you see what I'm getting at, cucks? All that matters is the presentation. Now, beyond the presentation, we also have other things, right? Because wrestling is not just a fake sport. Wrestling is a soap opera where the payoff is presented as a fake sport, right? The more important element beyond looking a certain way, right? The it factor, none of that shit matters. It's, are you charismatic? And more specifically, can you act? If you're a good actor, you're going to be a good wrestler, right? And here's why. And here's the real conclusion of my video, right? WWE, as well as AEW, and every other company in the world that does wrestling or any other kind of fake sport needs to hire actors. You can hire actors that have good physiques so they look believable, right? And then you train them to do the horseshit fake sport that Logan Paul learned in 2 weeks, right? The sport of wrestling, that bullshit, is easy, motherfucks. Anyone can learn to do what Chris Benoit did, right? So all this garbage, Kota Ibushi, he's top 5. Daniel Bryan is a technical wrestler. He's a master technician. No, Daniel Bryan is a guy who learned 5-6 moves that Logan Paul can do better than him with 3 weeks of practice, right? There's nothing hard about wrestling. The hard parts come not in the wrestling part, but in the entertainment part, motherfucks. That's the part that's difficult. That's why John Cena, The Rock, and Hulk Hogan, and Ric Flair make more money than Dean Malenko and Drew Gulak, right? Because everybody knows that if John Cena wanted to, right? If you took John Cena and you put him in a room and you're like, and then you have 2 weeks, go learn every move Dean Malenko does and do it just as good. He would do it just as good in 2 weeks. I would do it just as good. You would do it just as good. Technical wrestling and all this crap is not real. Now, I will, as usual, the hater says it like it is. If you told the hater, go learn every move that Zack Sabre Jr. does, I could learn it, no problem. No problem, motherfucks. I'm athletic enough to learn these moves. But if you told me, hey hater, go learn how to do this 619 and then do a springboard 450, I don't know if I could do that, right? That stuff actually is impressive, right? So technical wrestling, right, is at the bottom of the totem pole. Then you've got high flyers, right, which are inherently more entertaining. Then you've got actual good wrestlers, which are based on their acting and charisma skills, right? Then on top of this totem pole, you got a fucking eagle or some shit. Like you have on every totem pole. But the point is, WWE, like you see all the people that they draft, like, oh, this guy was a linebacker at Saskatoon University. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit if he was a linebacker? Right? None of that is going to translate into wrestling. Zero of that is going to matter. Oh, he was an offensive lineman. Oh, this guy's a power lifter. None of that shit matters, motherfuckers. None of that shit matters. I would be much happier if their class was, here's 10 actors. 10 actors who are badasses because they look badass and they can act. That's all I want to see. Nobody wants to see pretend athletes. Oh, who's better at pretending to fight? Dean Malenko or Bret Hart? Because a flying fuck. I don't give a shit at all, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm getting at, right? That's what I'm getting at. I will close with this. In the early 2000s, there was a show that I really enjoyed. It was it had a very short run, I think like 2 seasons. It was called Battle Dome, right? Battle Dome. They even had a little thing where the Battle Dome people went to to WCW, right? It was kind of like American Gladiators in many ways, right? But the idea was you had contestants, average Joes go in there and they would compete against, I'm sure they had like a name. We'll call it the Gladiators for lack of a better word, right? And then I remember it was amazing because it was real in the sense that you actually had to go beat these actors, right? But the actors were just yoked, right? So you had Mike Odell, played by Mike O'Hearn, the bodybuilder. So like, no matter what, Mike O'Hearn is a strong motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though he's a bodybuilder, not a powerlifter, he's strong, right? He can push people around because he's like 260 pounds of muscle. Then and his gimmick was that he's like a Greek god, like, you know, like vain type guy, right? He's like into himself. He's like a Dolph Ziggler, but except he's like 3 times his size, right? Then the gladiators would also have a rivalry with each other, right? The main rival when I was watching of Mike Odell, right, was a guy named T-Money, right? T-Money, as you can probably tell from his name, T-Money was a black guy, right? And his character was that he was like a hood guy with like a lot of jewelry, right? And who played T-Money? Terry Crews, motherfucks, who now has an incredibly successful career in acting as well as presenting, right? This was like one of the early moments of Terry Crews getting some notoriety, right? But listen to what I'm saying, right? The rivalry between T-Money and Mike Odell was 100 times more entertaining than that of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, right? Because I cared about T-Money and Mike Odell. Both are more charismatic than Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Both are better at their jobs. They have better physiques, right? I mean, Luchasaurus he's all right because he's a big guy, but he's nothing compared to young Terry Crews, and especially not to Mike Odell. I mean, Mike O'Hearn, motherfucks. So what I'm getting at here is this, right? Why the hell would Battle Dome, and I know it's not a good example because they got canceled, but they got canceled for other reasons. Why would Battle Dome hire an offensive lineman who trained for the Olympics when they could hire Terry Crews, an aspiring actor who also is built like a fucking fridge, right? Why would they hire, I don't know, this guy's an Olympic, javelin thrower. Why would they hire that guy when they could hire Mike Odell, who's basically, Mike O'Hearn, who's basically a fitness model, who's also big and strong and charismatic, right? Why would they do that, right? It makes a lot more sense to hire good actors and teach them the easy thing that they have to do, right? There's no way you can look at Terry Crews today. Look at Terry Crews today and look at Walter, motherfucks. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, Gunther. Look at Gunther and look at Terry Crews or even Mike O'Hearn today, right? You mean to tell me there's anything athletic that Gunther can do that Mike O'Hearn can't? Are you fucking insane? Mike O'Hearn could do everything that Gunther could do and better than him because he's more athletic, right? But he's also a better actor, which is why people like that should have been hired, right? People like John Cena, who happen to be charismatic, right? Doesn't matter if John Cena does 5 moves or 6 moves or 8 moves. How many moves did Eddie Guerrero do on an average match? 5 or 6 like everybody else. It doesn't matter, motherfucks. The point is charisma and personality are what make the difference. And with that being said, you can kiss my ass.